This is a 3D pipeline project built for Hangzhou City. The project is built for the management of the accident, updating, and tracking of the pipelines. Here we can browse the whole scene and browse all the pipelines underground. We can click on a joint of the pipeline and see its attributes. Here it shows the attributes of a pipeline. In 3D scene, the spatial relationship between the pipelines can be represented more clearly. The vertical and complex spatial relationship that cannot be represented in 2D GIS can be displayed in 3D GIS. Also, we can do some measurement in the 3D scene. We can either measure the distance or measure the area. In the demo, we measure the length of a segment of the pipeline. This function would be very useful when you want to measure the height. For example, if you want to measure the height between the pipeline and the ground, you can use this function. The project uses 2D and 3D integration technology of Supermap. Only one set of data is needed. It is very convenient for the data updating, it saves cost, and you can do some 3D analysis. Here in the demo, we can see the measurement of an area. For some of the 3D projects, it can only be seen, but you cannot do the query or analysis. With 2D and 3D integration technology, we can do the query and analysis. Here is an example of the query. We want to query out the gas lines in the scene, and we want to use the index of the pipelines as a query condition. We can choose the fuzzy query and get all the results shown in the table. If we want to know where one pipeline is located, we can double-click on it and it will be displayed in the scene. All the pipelines are created as a symbol in the 3D scene. It reduces the cost and it is more intuitively to see. Here is an example of the buffer query. We want to know within 30 meters how many electricity wells are distributed. So we can do this buffer analysis and it will display the full results in the table. We can double-click on it to see where one of the electricity well located. It is very important to integrate the business logic into the project. Here we will display an example of that. The cross-section functions are very important in pipeline project. Here it shows the structure of the cross-section. We can see how the pipelines are distributed in this area. We can also do some analysis of the cross-section. Here it displays the analysis results in a graph. We can click on it and we can see the attributes of each of the pipelines below. We can also see the analysis results in a 3D mode, which is more intuitively. We can see how the pipelines are distributed in the space. There is another practical issue in the pipeline project. It is the excavation. Here we can change the transparency of the 3D scene. For the excavation, we want to know some information and to do some simulation before the actual excavation happens. And we can do that in the 3D scene. You can know the necessary information of the excavation. For example, maybe you want to know the distance between the pipeline and the ground. In that case, you can use the measure function of the 3D scene. You can measure the distance between the pipeline and the ground. Here we do the measurement, and it displays the height. It's not very hard to build a 3D scene like this. First, you have to have the data. You can use the data from the existing 2D GIS. Using 2D and 3D integration technology, only one set of data is needed. Then we made the symbol of the 3D scene and made the thematic map. And at last, the 3D scenes are built. It would be very expensive to do the model of the 3D. With Supermap products, you can use 2D data to build that, so it reduces the cost dramatically. We can set the excavation height in the excavation function. We can set it at 3 meters and to see how many pipelines are affected. Then we can set it at 7 meters. We can see that more pipelines are affected. More functions can be added into this project according to the business requirements. For example, maybe we can add the emergency responding function to that. So if there is one accident with a pipeline, we can quickly locate it and to deal with that. Here it is a flat function of the 3D scene. You can browse the whole scene during a flight. You can pause the flight or stop it. We can switch the scene to the underground mode. All the pipelines are displayed. Then we do the flight to see all the pipelines in the city. You can contact Supermap if you are interested in the 3D project.